Hey, Missy C, how are you? Welcome. Okay, I'll tell you the story about what my cooking is about today in a minute, and you let me know if that sound okay or not. Okay, let me load up the recipe. Okay, welcome. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? ជំរាបសួរសុខសប្បាយទាំងអស់គ្នាស្វាគមន៍ welcome. Uh, give a minute. Um, Let me check for all the things I need so I don't have to be running around too much. So I was with my grandkids, visit my grandkid, my mom, just a couple of days ago, and the three of them that live here in town had asked me, "Hello, have a good dinner, Missy C." Hey, no problem, love. Enjoy your meal, okay? Stone Mountain. Um, yeah, Stone's supposed to be due back tomorrow. I'll tell you a little bit about a struggle on the trip also. So I was with my grandkid visiting my mom, picking up her grocery, her medications, and so on and so forth, and um, and do the financial portion where withdraw cash and distribute to her. So anyway, so my grandkid now approach me. You know, I don't see them every day, but I see them like every other day. So they said, "Grandma." So very seldom my grandkid ever asked me to make anything for them, especially food. So the oldest one, Brendan, said, "Grandma, can you make us some soft cookies, chocolate cookies?" I'm like, "I don't know. Last time I did that, I got in trouble, especially when I was helping out, transport you guys to the practice, and then and you guys kind of convey that I should like take you to get your little uh, a little what do you call it, the snow cone or something like that, right?" So I got in trouble for that. So I've been banned from taking kid to sport because I spoiled my grandkid with with the sweet love. So a few days ago, my grandkid doing the same thing again. Oh, put me in trouble with their parents again. You know, so they were saying, "Grandma, we would love for you to make us some soft chocolate cookie. Have to be soft, okay? We don't care about other cookie. We just want soft cookie." So I'm like, so I'm walking on a thin line with my grandkids again. And wait until the parent find out that I'm making chocolate cookies, soft chocolate cookie for them, and I'll probably just sneak it and leave them in the front door or something. So you know that Las Vegas is terribly hot. It's 115, 112 degrees. I don't want to turn on the oven to make cookies. You know, I don't care. But now the grandkids want me to do so. So now I have to turn on the, yeah, well, I use the portable oven. It shouldn't be too bad. The big ovens over here. I should bake everything in one category. But that one, it'll work, but it take a few trips. Okay. So about this soft cookie thing, it's not like a regular chocolate cookies. Okay, chocolate cookie is easy. You mix it and then you throw it in the ovens and watch it rise and and cool down and share with the kids. Now there's a special way, kind of niche way to make cookie soft. Okay, you cannot overbake it. You have to put it in the incubate means I know you have to like have that loving tender touch where you can, it have to be in the cold fridge, not in the freezer. Okay, so that they don't recommend that we put it in the freezer because freezer it's 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 gonna ruin the dough. What they recommend is that well that I can keep the dough for the longest, less than a year, still be fresh. So how to make soft, chewy chocolate chip cookies. I didn't have the smart the little chip. I have like a chip that big. So let's see how it goes. So I'm breaking the rule. So I have all the ingredients I need. I went to take a few trips. I thought I got everything. 2 trips to the grocery store first. I got everything. I got all the recipe downs, and I'm borrowing this recipe from this flour bag here, okay, by Golden Meadows, and they have beautiful, delicious, extraordinary chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna modify it a little bit because I wanted to make it a little chewy to add extra yolk, to add extra butters, and extra brown sugars, and I because I'm allergic to corn, they recommend that cornstarch will uh, help the process of being chewy, being uh, soft. Okay, but I'm leaving that one out and see how it goes. So I think the extra yolk will be fine. Okay, let's go and explore the recipe. Uh, okay, so borrowing from the gold medal recipe, because I bought the flowers, so they share the recipe, so I'm sharing with you guys. So I modified a little bit because I want my cookie to be soft and chewy for the grandkids. Okay, so I already make some doughs. It's in the fridge for about 2 hours. So now the incubation part is that it have to be chilled, be chilled. Okay, there. The longer you put in the chilling incubate, they said that it's better. So I'm gonna do 2 hours, and you can leave it there up to 2 days, 3 days, and bring it out. You bake it, and then you have to mold it in a way that it does not get flattened. You gotta rise up the little. So the creation of the ball have to be specific, not just like you scoop it, lay it flat. No, not like that. You're gonna have to like create a little ball, make a cone ball or something to allow the butter to melt slowly, while the edge of the cookie will get crispy and the middle of the cookie will stay soft and chewy. Yeah, you follow me? Okay. So it's hard to explain, right? Let's go and do this thing. I have the um the oh, you're talking about the Ghost Mountain? Uh, I think I sent link on the Ghost Mountain link to, if you're talking about the Ghost Mountain link that I had the other day. Um, yeah, did you watch it on PBS? I think it's also on, just Google Ghost Mountain documentary, okay, by Jimmy Tang, Taing, Tang, a Ting, Tang, I think Ting. And yeah, let me know how you feel about it. Okay, it's that I deal with it briefly. Okay, so let's get back to my cooking. Appreciate your comment. Okay, yeah, I did attach the link to Ghost Mountain Story, the documentary, on PBS channel. Is a public broadcast channel. Okay. So yeah, so today I'm doing my grandkid a favor, with the love, with the sugars. My kid was saying, Mom, don't buy kids, don't don't buy don't buy kid with love. No, no, don't buy love. What you say? Don't buy kid with don't buy love with sweet. You know, he said, well, take them to the park, take them somewhere more productive and education. So, well, you know what? As a grandmother, I feel that I love my kids enough that a little bit of sweet will be okay. I'm not gonna give them like a whole basket, a whole bag of cookies. Give them one, or maybe I make a big one, then it'll be a good one, and even make a small one, then they can have a few. And then because they're active in sport, they're just gonna burn it up, it won't be that long-term issue. Okay, so as a grandmother, you know what, there's a boundary that grandma do with their grandchildren, you know, cooking, baking cookies and pies and things like that. It's a memory building. Okay, it's a memory building for the grandkid, and um, 50 years, 100 years from now, if I'm no longer walk the earth, and they when each time when they, you know, they get in the kitchen, they remember their grandma. That's the impression that I want to leave my grandkids. So yeah, let's explore the recipe together. Okay, so this right here, we only need just about 2 cup and 1/4 two 2 1/4 cup of flour, and we need about, usually we'll need about 1 block of butter, that because we want it a little chewy, a little soft, so we have to add extra butter. So I'm gonna go ahead and we melt the butter, okay, and I will need 1.5 of this. So this is about 8 tablespoon of butter. We're gonna do that right now. We're gonna melt it, and this process will help melt our brown sugar also. So today I was a little bit disappointed, right? Because I went and got the packed brown sugar. Man, I think it was I should have taken it back and, you know, exchange. And because the packed one, I think, was old sugar, so it was like all condensed in one block like this. So I have to hammer it. I have to use the pestle and the mortar to slap the heck out of it, and then use the mixer in order to get powdery, you know. So, yeah. So I went through a little bit of huddle today with the packed brown sugar. I should just get regular sugars, brown sugar, then I'll be fine and dandy. I don't have to huddle with it, you know. But then I have to watch out from now when things appear to be not what it appear to be. So I have 1.5 a block of butter. So I have quality no salt butters, okay? So because we're gonna add just about half a teaspoon of salt in the cookie, that is just the way things work. So I'm gonna go ahead and melt it, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and measure all the dry ingredients first. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and, you see, I have to blend this to get the powdery. I kid you not. Again, the thing was so hard. It's harder than stone. The rock. You know, it was like when I opened it up, you know, I was like this piece of cement. It was not even serviceable. So I thought that I'm gonna drive it back to give it to the market, to the store, grocery store, and exchange for something else. And then I already been twice to the market already, to the supermarket already, and one more trip, and in the mid 115 degree. I don't want to be out there, okay? So yeah, so I pound it, break it into smaller pieces, grind it with the mortar, you know, and then grind it with the blender to get this. Yeah. Oh well. And with this process, the egg have to be on room temperature. Like I said, you know, everything is so sensitive and incubated. So we need 1 large egg and one extra yolk. Because I'm allergic to eggs, and this cookie I won't be able to eat too many. I'm probably just gonna do a bite or so. Okay, let's start. When my butter is melted, they recommend it to sit it for a few minutes to cool it down. First of all, they want it melt and they want to cool down. They can't make up their mind, you know, what they want to do with it. So, but I need a little warm for it to melt the brown sugar. And we use 2 kinds of sugar. We're gonna do brown sugar and granulated granulated sugars, or you do sugar canes or whatever sugar that you can grab, it's super cool. I'm gonna place it back here while I'm measuring all these dry ingredients. So I'm looking at the ingredients offered. It said that I need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. It's right here. My baking soda. Yeah, I'd like to welcome. I'm making soft, chewy chocolate cookie for my grandkids, and I'm gonna get in trouble with their parent, but I'll be fine. You know, but I love my grandkids, so I'll do anything for them. I know I don't get too many chances of spoiling my grandkid. Um, um, the 5 of them live in the East Coast, but these 2 plus the extra one here, they got spoiled because they have grandma living on site. Okay, so what else? So that is 1 teaspoon of baking soda and half teaspoon of salt. I haven't recouped my half teaspoon yet. For some reason it is missing. I don't know whether the dishwasher swallow it or the shark swallow it. I'm not sure. So this is half teaspoon. Okay, not tablespoon. Teaspoon. All right. Yeah. And what else? And I need the sugar. I need 3/4 of a cup. So this is 1 cup, okay? So 3/4 of a cup would be almost filled at the top. But oh, 3/4 going in. It's still a little pebbles on the brown sugar, and that just because I couldn't break it off. Okay, and I didn't sift it because there's a purpose for that. Okay, so I think it's been 5 minutes now. So this is 1.5 blocks of melted butter. Yeah, this will help break down the brown sugar. And what else I have in there already? Okay, we're gonna blend this really well. And we got the brown sugar in it already. Now we want to add half cup of regular sugar here. Okay. Okay, we're gonna blend this really well. Okay, let me get some. We need about 2 teaspoons of good vanilla. Okay, if you like fake or vanilla substitute, it's up to you. But the real flavors are from real vanilla extract. So I hope I get a real one. Sometimes they can be lying and raise the price on you because felt like I already got powder on my face. Well, I'm dressing in purple today, and I got lipstick and eyeshadow to match it, accessorize it. Okay, so I was told that I have pretty eye, so then I was flattered. So I'm trying to make my eye look like a central focus, the focus point in my face, because I have such a unbalanced skin tone. All right, so we're gonna do that. What else I miss? I have baking soda, this unsalted butter. Oh, I need eggs. Vanilla went in already. The sugar, the brown sugar went in. The butter went in. Salt, baking soda. The only thing left is eggs and the flowers. We have to blend this really, really well. And the reason we're doing that, we wanted to combine all the ingredients in here, especially the sugar. Make sure that it's already well blended before we add the flour. So I'm gonna go ahead and add our eggs in. So it's already in room temperature. So it's really nice and it's not warm, but it's been in room temperature. Okay. So because we're gonna need one yolk, so I decided to break it and save the white eggs for scrambles. And so this one right here is where I'm going to divide the yolk and the white eggs. Oh, there we go. Excuse me. Just remember that there's millions of eggs being recalled, so you have to go online and find out which brand of eggs are being recalled. Okay, that happened last week. I hope everything went back to normal. So now I'm gonna go ahead and mix the eggs and the sugars and the rest of the recipe. I mean ingredients. For a minute or so. Okay, remove all this out of the way. I already have my portable oven started, and we need 350 degrees to bake these cookies. Okay, so it'll take about 12 to 14 minutes. It depends on if you want it soft and chewy, then check on. You need to check on the readiness, and I don't recommend over baking this. Okay, so it's almost like a semi baking. I want to make sure that the eggs are blended really well with the rest of the ingredients. You can use spoon or spatula. I like this big see-through mixing bowl because it's not only pretty, it's see-through. Well, I still have like clumps of sugars. I'm not going to worry about that. When we bake it, it's going to melt anyway. So today I'm also going to be using the chocolate chip. And I don't have the regular chip because I already used it in the other cooking. So I'm using this jumbo. Okay. Because I was going to do something with it and I didn't get a chance to do it. So I might as well use it. And there is no rule with the chocolate chip. You know, you can use a little one or the huge one. I think it'll be fun too. Be nice. Okay. All right. So now look like ready. Let me check everything that I have. If I recall, I have everything now down to the chocolate will be later. Vanilla, eggs, sugars, brown sugar, melted butter, and salt. Yeah, I did. And baking soda. The baking soda is very minimal. That if it's too much baking soda, it be rising like cake. So I noticed that the baking soda was reduced. Well, I reduce it because if it's not, it will be just a regular cookie. It will be rised up and then deflated, deflated, and it'll be like just a regular cookie. Well, let's see how it goes. Now is a time for me to add the flour. So I need 2 cups. This hot cup, right here. So I need two cups and a quarter, 1/4. I think 1/4 is a quarter cup. Okay. You combine all together. Yeah. Las Vegas has been overheated with the heat wave, the dome heat wave, where we just got all this crazy hot wind coming through, like over the mountain down to the valley. So, telling you. And then we have to deal with the scorpions in some part of they said that southeast, that's southwest that way, but my baby live on southeast, so that's the opposite direction. It could be wrong, you know. I mean, maybe it's already spread throughout the valley. You never know. Anyway, so to make this cookie chewy and soft, we kind of gentle in mixing this. We don't want to over mixing it, and then we'll break the starch and it becomes fine dough, and it won't turn out the way we wanted it. Okay, so at this moment, it looked really good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add about a cup of chocolate. And if you would like to add more, you could. I think last time I used about a cup and a little bit over a cup. Okay, so instant, a little over a cup, or however you like. Okay. So because the nature of the way the dough was made, the chip won't stay sticking too much, but it's okay. Okay, it's manageable. Okay, so there we go. It's done. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this in the fridge for. We can, if you're in a hurry, you can do as little as 30 minutes. But the longer we leave it in the fridge, allow the dough to get chill. That process helps slow down the melting process. That's all it is. And it's better if we have it overnight, 2 nights, 3 nights, and after 2 nights, you gotta put it in the freezer because it has that immediate freshness. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the bag. Or edible, cover it. And put it in a bowl, a plate, or if you want it for it to get chilled quicker, then you flatten it. Okay, flatten it, and so these are the 2 cup and a quarter worth of flours. plus the chocolate chip, and 1 egg plus 1 yolk, and 1 stick and a half of butter. So the dough relative like this. So it's not as mushy. It's almost like the regular Christmas cookie. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it and leave in the fridge for the time that estimate to be. I do not recommend it to be in the freezer, because if it's in the freezer, the dough does not get even chilly, cooling. If you put it in the fridge for a good amount of time, and it will get that right temperature. I'm done with this. Let me move out of the way. And, let me cover this and put it in the refrigerator. Okay. So the next thing I'll do is I'll let me move a few things out of my way. Because I have a portable of my oven, so this is the baking pan, and it's it needed to cool down in the pan. Do not remove from the pan. Okay, the chewy part is to leave it in the pan for about 10-15 minutes to cool it down. Okay, if we remove it from the heat, the hot pan, onto the rack, and then it'll get hardened. So we're gonna leave in here until allow the sugar to formulate and make that perfect chewy chocolate chip. All right, I'm gonna need parchment paper for this, so that way it does not stick to the baking pan. All right, every pre-measurement for the parchment paper. Yeah. I think this will do. Okay, I think my oven is ready. The next thing I need to do is bring out the dough that I already made beforehand. To speed up the process, so I went ahead and spread this, and now I'm gonna have to bind them back in the dough. Okay. Well, they recommend that to chill it for a few minutes to allow the dough to return back to the dough to get softened, so that we be able to excuse me, be able to scoop it. Okay, but we will go ahead and form this again because it's been in the chill and the butter kind of bind all the ingredients together and harden it. So to do this, we have to work our way back into creating the dough textures. I forgot about that. I forgot to bring it out and let it cool down. Is it cool down or cool up? I'm making chewy, delicious chocolate cookies for the grandkids. I should have formed it into the dough stick already, but because I wanted it to um, chill and form. That's why I separated them. So it worked best, like I said, preparation ahead of time and prior to put it into the fridge, go ahead and form it into a little dough. So that way, all we need to do is just cut it up and bake. Okay, so I just have to work extra harder to get the dough formed again. But it's not a bad idea though, you know what I mean? It recommend that I recommended that you form it too. That's look like a pretty big cookie to me. So yeah, something like this, okay? So we'll see, right? I'll make 4 of these because I make sure that that I have enough room in this tiny pan here. I don't have full sheet or quarter sheet. This is quarter sheet, not half sheet. It won't fit in that portable oven. I don't know. That looked pretty huge to me. That's why I said if it come out good, they only get one. Well, being grandma, so maybe I'll give them 2, maybe 3. I think they all go back to school probably next week. I think next week. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I put 3. We'll see how it goes. It might melt and stick together. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna melt and stick together. Okay, we're gonna bake this for about 15 minutes or longer because it depends on the size that we are making. If you make a tiny one, then go ahead and decrease the minutes. And if you make a gigantic big one, then go ahead and add more time to it, okay? And I think the best is to like raise up the dough, make it higher, make it higher so that way it will melt down to the size and texture we need. Okay, here we go. Add 4. No, I think it's better we saw if we don't have 4 in there because this chance that they will like melt and crumb together, and then we'll have issue. All right, it's gonna go in for 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna do 15 minutes. If it does not cook entirely, then I'll add a couple more minutes, right? So I'm gonna be baking it at 350 degrees. Right. Now that's going in, so I'm gonna go ahead and prepare a couple more on here. Okay. My other baking pan, I did something to it, so I won't be able to use it because when I barbecued the other day, I used it for the grill. So it wasn't I won't be able to use it. How are we doing? Oh, I was gonna share with you while we're waiting for the cookie to bake. So, my sweetheart, he asked to be part of Orlando Brown fighting program, um, fighting with Ray J schedule for. They're gonna be undercard for. Um, is that beautiful boxer? What's her name? Shoot, I forgot their name. Anyway, so they'll be undercard for. I'll find out in a minute. So the fight will be in Atlanta, but yesterday, the network wanted to do promotion photo and video, so Orlando and his team have to fly to Atlanta City to do all that and the production. And he requests Stone to be at his corner to help train him, get him ready, so far so forth. He's been trained, but you know that many of you know the Stone. He's martial art champs also. So he and Orlando Brown, they had history back in the day. Um, Before I came into the picture, um, Orlando used to live with him like as a brother, and something fall apart and they drift away. Now they with kinship, and Orlando reach out and want his big brother to be part of this event. So because it's such a short notice, and I don't like short notice, and have to book emergency flight, and you know how emergency flights always hassle, always you have to pay for the emergency, like they will pressure you to pay extra for a short notice to book the flight. So we thought that, well, have my daughter help, and we too went online, blah blah blah, and the flight was a little bit overpriced. And we know that, I travel all the time, and I know that the last minute booking will be disadvantages, but if we need to be somewhere, we need to be somewhere. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge. Okay, keep it. No, I'll leave it out. So we went to the airport. I recommend that we need to go to the airport to book it. It's a lot cheaper. So we went to the airport. First we went to the wrong terminal, from supposed to be Terminal 1, but we ended up at Terminal 3. So we park and walk and trying to find our way in. And finally, we have to ride the troll to get to Terminal 1. So it was fun. I mean, that's a learning process also for us. So it was fun. we want issue. So we got in line for the customer service and explained to the lady that we need to book a ticket to Atlanta on August the 1st. So we were there on July the 30th. Is it July? No, July the 29th. So we had like 2 days and gap in between. So what happened was that, so this lady was nice, friendly and kind. Anything you like, I'll do for you. So we booked ticket. So we told the lady that we need round ticket, okay, and we need 2 tickets. First ticket would be just him by himself and flying out, and the second ticket will involve my departure with him. So fine dandy, you pay for the last minute ticket, because he need to go to show the love and support to his brother. And yeah, we got the tickets and everything for both trips. So the next trip will be on the 12th of August, where I'll be accompanying him to the fight. Also, will be his corner, Orlando corner. So it's fine dandy. We got both tickets. It was a little expensive. Well, the second ticket was not as expensive because we booked ahead, and it was like it was impressive price. It was good. So we were happy with that. So we were happy to get that, to procure that 1 ticket for him to depart for his current trip now. So as I'm speaking, he's still in Atlanta, waiting for his departure tomorrow afternoon. So while I'm speaking about the trip, anyway, so it was kind of strange because when I checked the flight ticket, it didn't show that he has a return ticket, right? So I said, oh, maybe it's a new thing, maybe they designed it this way. Maybe it'll show up in the email for the itinerary and all that. So we waited. So I fly all the time, and I know a little niche in here and there. So this one was like, hey, this is new. I haven't flew for like a month or two. Maybe they changed certain thing, and then one of the airlines are not out of business, being bought and sold, so no longer in business. I'm gonna add the rest of the chocolate. So then, so we said, oh, maybe you wait until 24 hours time to check in and see if the return trip will pop out. This time I'm worried already. I said, dang, it's I want to bring him home because he need to be home and working, and the company already left, the network left, Orlando and his family left. He brought his little girl with him to Atlanta. I gotten to talk to her on FaceTime, and she loved to be on the phone. She's trying to enjoy herself while she's with her dad. So the catch to this is that, so we're trying to log in to confirm the return ticket, and nothing popped up, So at this point, I'm like, oh, well, what's going on? Maybe the lady misunderstood because we booked 2 tickets. So first, we booked the first one for 1 person round trip. So fine dandy, she printed out and we paid. And it was economical. And then the second trip was for us to join the trip on the 12th of August, and round trip also. So it got a little worried for me. Like yesterday, we're trying to log in to check in, but nothing come up. So I finally today I said, well, it sounds fishy and suspicious because it should show up in the email. They don't send him email or nothing. You check email, spam mail, and junk mail, nothing come through. But then he got his itinerary for going, but there was no confirmation from on the email. I thought it was strange because we booked under his name on our cards, and it didn't come on. It didn't show on his email, so that was kind of strange. Also, and normally, as soon as you book a ticket, and they will send you the link um, to your ticket, and will let you know whether you need carry on or luggages or what have you. So I waited, and I got anxious, and on the phone with him, I said, and then my daughter said also, well, maybe he need to go early tomorrow to book the flight, come home. So I said, no, that I don't trust the process. What happened if they say, oh, we didn't have flight tonight at like 4, and so then he'd be stuck at the airport or at the hotel another day, and I know how that goes because I travel a lot, and when it's delay or cancellation, and we're fine. So it rises up beautifully. Got this big. Let me see. So then went online and booked another booked the return flight for him. But I'm still not happy with the process. We went there in person, talked to the agent in person, book in person, and not like you have to talk to robot or internet and nothing like that. So I trust the process that humans are always more sufficient than the robot. So find a nanny and got a return ticket, and I told him that I'm gonna call the cab um, the Frontier Care customer care on the phone, and they were prompting. They didn't let me wait for 10-15 minutes. They answered like in 4 minutes. They let me know. So I'm just being cordial. I said, look, I'm just not very happy. So I told them the process of how we got the ticket and how the misunderstanding, and now he's stranded. So she the agent, the customer care agent was very polite and cordial. She offered her um, her heartfelt apology on behalf of the flight and so on and so forth, and for the person who messed it up. So, and then I was telling her that I'm just not happy because I flew with them often, and I know I have to deal with this kind of misunderstanding. This misunderstanding costs a lot of money. It's not like $100 or $200. It was emergency flight, and it's cost a bundle. So after like 15-minute conversation, and the agent said, well, you know what, we really apologize for the miscommunications, and they will appreciate that I make the call to let them know what's going on, because they don't know what's going on in their end. They only know that there was no return flight because it appeared that way, right? So in the middle of this conversation, the agent told me that because I've been so cordial and report the problem. A lot of people don't report the problem in a manner. They just want to seek vengeance and be nasty and gasty about it. So with the patients and understanding, she said, oh, this is what we're gonna do for you. We're gonna upgrade his from row 28 to row 2. So that was kind of nice. And then they compensate and refund part of the fee, which is nice. Not the whole fee, but a part of the fee was really, really nice. That helped a big, helped a lot. So I expressed my gratitude and tell them that I really appreciate their cordial and their to call it their accommodation. So it's really, really nice to get that kind of accommodation. I flew different um, um, different uh, airlift, waiting a few hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, up to the point where they start to cancel the flight. You know, but they were really cordial and accommodating. I really like that. So I, told them that I flew with them all the time, and the record show, and I secure our next trip. Make sure that there's no funny business going on. I'm not gonna deal with it. I lose my patience. I can go ballistic and be crazy when certain things trigger my attitude. So I was happy with that. I told them I'm happy with the accommodation, and I wasn't here to cause any problem. I just wanted to let you guys know that there's a human error. So I this is the point I made. Okay, so I make two different trips. Okay, if we had no return ticket, and how he's gonna get back on the plane in a week or so and go back to the same location without him being returned? No, so that kind of makes sense, right? So yeah, so next time if you book the flight, make sure that you are scrutinize, check everything, check for any kind of the hidden clue, hidden clues. Make sure that you have return flight on before you walk away, before you close down the app. Make sure you check to ensure that your tickets return ticket if you have round trip. If you want make one no return trip, then that's fine. And make sure that you prepare ahead as far as the luggaging is concerned. The check-in is about $45 if you pay ahead, and if you pay later, it's like $90 or something like that. And if you have a carry-on, if you don't pay in advance, still is about $70. You don't pay in advance, it's $100. So the personal bag should be like just a, a few apparels and the undergarments and t-shirt, just for like emergency packing. If you're one of those flamboyant person, like you have to have extra clothes to have your option when you're over there, and you pack a whole bunch of stuff, you're fine. But then if you're only going to be gone a couple of days, you don't need a check-in. That would be ridiculous, right? I mean, just 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 plan your outfit carefully and efficiently, so that way you don't have to bring 10, 15 outfit that you don't need. That's like waste of money. I mean, um, oh, my bad. Let me check. So yeah, so it's no carry-on, no check-in. Oh well, and that's how it looked like. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of jumbo jet. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm gonna leave it out here, and I'm gonna go ahead and I can flatten a little bit, so I see now how it look like. So if you have a short trip, okay, just avoid all the extra apparels and clothing and shoes and makeups and what have you. Now, that is just more economical way to travel, okay? For me, I'm used to it now when I travel to my daughters, and I don't have to bring a whole lot because I can fit in their clothes, or they will hand me like pairs of sweatpants or sweatshirt, and according to the weathercast in the area. And sometimes she be sending extra apparels and things that I need to bring back, like gift and Christmas gift that they never sent because I wasn't there, or birthday gift that they didn't send. Now when I'm there, I have to collect all that, and now we have to have check in or carry on. It happened all the time with my kid, never fail. So even I do personal bag, and when I get to their house, and always something to bring back. That's what I learned about my family, is that they're so generous. I'm gonna check on the cookie too. I can make it smaller see how it goes. If I make it smaller, but if I make it smaller, then I have to reduce the heat. I have to reduce the time baking, so that way it does not get overbaked. So I don't know if I overbake it. Um, at the moment, look like it's soft. Let me see. So I'm just happy with the Frontier for the accommodations and the custom care are really efficient and good. I really like that, and that's because I approach them in a manner that's not irritated them, doesn't post threat and insult. You have to like, hey, you know what? I don't know what's going on in guy ends. My end, the whole purpose was to get a round trip, and I end up with one trip, and now my sweetheart is stressed and losing day of working and causing me stress and anxious, because the longer you stay over there, the more dough going out for food, for shelter, and for transportation, it adds up. This couple $100 trip turned out to be $1,000 trips or more. So it's time and money wise. So sometimes it's out of control, like this occasion. So now learn that when we book a ticket with the online in person, make sure that it's scrutinized, we check everything, that the question answered. If it doesn't come out right, make sure you ask, hey, does this look right to you? Is it a return trip, or is this a single trip? And the date, the locations, and the times, and so far so forth have to match. Okay, oh my god, I think I might overbake this one. Brownies. Though it's kind of soft right now, though. It's kind of soft, and I can sample it, and that because it's still warm, so it's gonna still be chewy. So not bad. I soft and chewy. So even leave this out in the air conditioning, with the air conditioning running, it will eventually harden the top of the cookies. Okay? So hopefully it will be served up. The soft of the cookie, which is the inside of the cookie, this area here, a little crunchy, which is normal. So once it's cooling down, I will put in a container, seal container, maybe cookie jar, to preserve um, the softness and the soft textures. Okay, not bad. I mean, I thought that with the amount of sugar going in, it'll be extremely sweet. It's not extremely sweet. It's just about right for me. I didn't see that the chocolate chip melted. It turned out really good, actually. It's not flat. Um, the secret to this is, I'm sorry, talking about you, is to create a dough in this shape. Okay. Um, After it is complete the melting, um, it will leave you with this texture. Yeah. So I overbake it a little bit, so I'll have to cut down the middle. Or I would have to raise up the grill. Yeah. So he's due back tomorrow in the afternoon. He's just anxious to get home, and I know it has eggs in it. I want to do one more bite. Feel like the dough is done inside. but it's not crunchy. I still have that perfect softness to it, plus the chocolate chip is melting. So it'll be perfect with a cup of coffee. I'm sorry, the air is on, and the dust is bothering me a lot, and or even a cup of milk. That because I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't have cookie with milk. But this is perfect. I have half of it because it had some eggs in it, okay? So I can't be having too much. The egg does not really the allergen reaction to the symptom that I'm the symptom of my egg allergen is this, okay? It does not blockade my breathing system or my trachea or breathing. Doesn't shut down my breathing system like some of the food, okay, like orange and peanut. But sure, I can feel, there's a skin rashing and scratching and all that if I eat a whole lot of it. So I have half of it. So we'll see how it goes. So to keep this cookie nice and moistures and soft, I would have to store it in like a really secure, unbreathable jar. Okay, like cookie jar. I don't have a cookie jar, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this pie bowl. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and line it up. I know. I'm reducing the time already. Okay, so I'm gonna reduce the time so that way it does not get an overbake. I'm gonna put it in the microwave because the microwave is enclosure. I'm not gonna use the microwave, but I'm gonna keep it as a shelter for now. So now that is done, so I need a new paper. I'm gonna sample that with you once it's done. Okay, I'm gonna reduce the baking time. See how it goes. This is less chilling already because it's been out on a room temperature for quite a bit of time. I'm gonna try 3, okay, because it didn't get that big. I'm gonna there you go. There's so many baking style on certain cakes or cookies. You think that everything the same is not. If you don't know the technique and the niche part of it, and you won't achieve the kind of baking texture. I've been out here cooking a lot lately. That just because the temperature is the heat wave is rising, and also there's a huge forestation fire and been burning in Oregon. Spoken in Oregon, huh? It is, huh? So the fire's been on for the last few days, and there's emergency evacuations, and it burned the community, it burned the forest, and like California always faced with the detrimental fire, forest fire, and wildfire during summer, especially when the heat is this high. You know, my heart and thought and prayer go out to Spokane and Oregon community, and I hope that God will send a big rain to douse the fire, you know. And I think the firefighters, hundreds of them, um, deployed from different states to help combat the fire, but still the fire was just out of control. You know, it's been burning days already. So yeah, our thought and prayer and go out to family, individual who are affected by the fire and water. And I know a few of my family also affected by the wildfire in Stockton, California, and Sonoma, and in Paradise, and Los Angeles, and the Southern Cal, and all that. You know, I mean, now it's in further state, still affecting the community. Okay, let me check on the one that I have in right now. Make sure that I'm not over baking it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in already. Remember to leave it on the baking pan for about 10-15 minutes, not just to let the flour and the sugar to marinate in. If you remove it right away, it will strip the textures of the cookie. So it looks really good. It's not brown. It's a light brown, and that's showing that the cookie is not being overbaked. If you overbake, it will be just a regular chocolate chip cookie, it will be crunchy. But we don't want that. We want this to be soft and chewy in the inside. It looks a little chewy on the top, but when you break it, you can feel that there's a good amount of softness to it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm sure that somebody can be happy. You know, I know they expected yesterday. I hadn't gotten around to do that. I had to do running around dealing with secure ticket for sweetheart to come home and so far so forth, and even today too. You know, so altogether, so I have 3 going done already. So I have 3 more, 6. I have about 12 now. So altogether, I have 2, 4, 6, 7 cup, around 8 cups of flours because I made 2 batches of cookies before. Oh, this is 2 batches. I still have 1 batch left when I just mixed it for you guys earlier. So I still have some dough left. So here's the dough I have. So this is what I'll do, okay? Before it's hardened and formed, I'm gonna go ahead and oh, it is. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a 22 block. So that way, when I'm ready to bake it, I just cut it up and reshape it. That'll be a smart thing to do. So this is like 2 1/4 cup of flours that can make sorry, at least 12, 15 cookies. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and break into half and just roll it. Roll it just like the dough that you bought from the grocery store. You know, the one that's already pre-mixed and pre-made. Like I said, you can save this in the fridge for up to 3 days. Okay, and I don't recommend it longer in the fridge for that more than 3 days. Okay, because then the flour will start tasting or smell funky. So if you're gonna keep it longer, and then you just put it in the freezer until you have use of it. And so here we go. I rolled it up nicely. I'm gonna wrap it in. You can use parchment paper, but I will go ahead and use the plastic food wrapped, so that way it would hug nicely. Alright. So then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I can make up to 14 cookies out of these 2 doughs here. If you want a smaller dough, then roll it a little bit longer. If you want fatter dough, then yeah, let's do that. Because this is not hardened yet, I just put this not long ago, less than 30 minutes, so the dough is still pretty soft. I'm gonna save this dough for my sweetheart. I'm sure that he will enjoy some of this chewy, soft and chewy chocolate cookie. I remember just a few days ago he was saying to me that, I haven't had homemade cookie, chocolate cookie for so long. You have not baked us any chocolate cookie, even cookie, I was like, well, because every time I make it, my family look at me like they're gonna sit in me. So I know that doesn't matter what I do, I mean, what we do, the cookie even though will be like the healthiest snack, or even cake and ice cream is not the healthiest snack. But once in a while, do yourself a favor. So, so still, so here we go. I'm just gonna add it into the batch here. And it's nice and bouncy, which is good. So if I reduce the baking time, and the cookie the texture should be similar to this and not over baking. Okay, if it's over baking, then you will have sourdough bread. And so I'm gonna leave this in the fridge, okay, not freezer, fridge until I have use for it. Tomorrow I'll bake it in the afternoon. Right. this will be about 12 to 15 cookies. Because the parchment paper on this one still look pretty good, so I'm gonna go ahead and reuse it, okay? I'm gonna put in the same spot. I'm gonna give the one in the oven for a couple more minutes. So today was a good day. He called and said, "How I like to be by yourself." It's really nice. No kid, no spouse. I got dog and cat, and I let them out a few times for them to have their personal times. And it's too hot to keep any kind of animals outside. And then yesterday I spotted it. Some birds. Okay, it almost looked like roadrunners, but it wasn't roadrunners. So when I took the picture, I took the videos of the bird also, and I went to do research. So it's not a roadrunner, but it's called lesser roadrunner, just like that full speed um, uh, bird. You know, they can travel like 300 miles per minute to like, I say my speed, like this one travel 50 miles per minute, and so they call lesser uh, roadrunner. I'm like, well, the roadrunner, you know, the whole physical look was that he had like a little, um, he had like a little feather on, like a mohawk feather on his head. For the lesser roadrunner, and he does not have that like a mohawk feather. So that's how you distinguish between the full speed roadrunner and the lesser speed, the lesser roadrunner by that 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 feather hairdress feature. So I was out there with the dog, fed the dog, and plenty of water, and he flew down. You know, and he was landing on the fence, and his mouth was open, his beak was open because he's trying to to stay cool. And he was looking down. You know, I know that he was thirsty by just looking at the bird. You know, so that melt my heart. You know, so when I see that he was thirsty and hungry, and you're supposed not to feed birds or things like that, you know. But then the pigeon, especially, because this bird do not live. I don't think they live with human, like occupy the roof and stuff like that. Like, excuse me. And I don't think they occupy the. Oh, this one looks good. Okay, this is a texture that this is a texture that I really like. So it looked better when it being left in a. Oh, yeah. The one that being squeezed didn't expand as much, and I don't know what's going on, but so funny. I'll leave it for a few minutes, for about 15 minutes before I remove it. So my heart melt, and it helped me feel um, feel the love for the bird, you know, and wonder how far he had flew to find water and food in the mid heat wave. You know, I mean, for me, when I go out there, I feel like, shoot, I'm stepping into like a dungeon with with lava. You know, with volcanic lava. You know, it's like that outside, and let alone that little tiny bird. You know, weight no more than an ounce, or I mean, 3 to 5 ounce. Um, that was not cool at all, and his mouth was open wide, and he was looking toward the dark water bowls, so that does it. You know, I'm standing there. I'm like, I remember when read in the book of Genesis and all the creations and the bird and the bees, and then God command human to his children to have a dominion over the creature. So then it reflect me back to how God would have wanted. So that we have dominion, dominion over them is by what we have the right to unalive them and serve as food, and all our responsibility to make sure that they're safe and be taken care of, but then yet again, some of the wild bird and wild animals are not being served or taken care of by human, yet, they continue to live and have a life extended years. So then you have to use pro and con about certain things, that way. But I got emotional anyway just to see the little bird um, try to breathe and try to combat the heat. Same thing for dog. When dog are overheated, they pant. That they need to be in cooler place, and and giving water. So I talked to him about it. I said, would it be okay for me to prepare a big jug of water and leave it out there? I know that we're supposed not to be involving in all this, and let him find his own resource and food and water resource. But what happened if this bird live in this area and that they sheltered on the trees, because neighborhood have tree, we don't have tree. We just have small backyard plants and house plant. But in this area, there are trees. So what if this bird live on the tree in this area and they don't fly it out of the area because the heat, they needed to get to water to survive, So then, I'm trying to be analytical about it, and then I said, well, yeah, when you go ahead and put some water out there, on the other side of the fence, because I fenced up the backyard because I did that a couple of weeks ago. That just because the dog is so happy, they like to have the whole backyard to spray to do the business, and it started to smell, and they have bigger place to pick up after them and clean after them, so it started to smell, and pretty soon your neighbor gonna start complaining. So I divided like a certain portion of the backyard, cover the whole rocky area. It was fake grass. We don't have real grass here, just a fake bed of, of carpets. Um, so I portion it out, and partial it, and allow the dog to have access to like the other side of the house with the imitation uh, grass bed. So it's easy to train them, because when I brought them from the other house, soon as they're out from the house door into the garage door, and they turn to the left side of the hands, and that's where their little spot is. So they've been doing that because they so conditioning to that routine. So when I'm over here, he had this whole backyard by themselves. They're just like happy doing here and there. By the time I'm done doing thing and be available to pick up after them, I'm like dog crap everywhere, and you can smell it once the heat rised up, scorching on those imitation bed of of grass, and it was that bad chemical, like the pneumonia from the dog pee and poo. I'm like, so then I have to treat it with baking soda and a few other household chemical to help minimize the smell. So far, the dog is used to it now. Um, they can't get over on the other side. I use um, the little garden mesh and the garden trellis or gate. I pound it out and cover with the mesh, so the dog won't, because the dog got smart. Because the little opening, they duck right under it and went boo back to the area, and I said, "How are you gonna get back in, girl?" And they looked at me like, "I don't know. I like it over here, and don't try to stop us." So then now they got used to it. They don't try to to sneak out to the area that was blockage. So now they train. So this dog is so good. They're so easy to train. I wish that some human are like that, you know, and some human that really annoying me, you know, like they act like they immature, you know, they like 40, 50 years old. They still act like a little kid, and you're trying to help them understand certain thing, and like you prompting over and over again is really annoying and nuisance. But this dog, you know what? They said that um, you cannot trick an old dog or train an old dog. No, it's not true because my dog they are elderly dog, not puppy. They are like old dog. They're like an OG, you know. Um, so yeah, so anybody said that you know the dog is too old to be trained. No, they're not. They're perfect. The dog are so smart. Okay, that's why they send dog to fight in Afghanistan. You know, they send dog to sniff that all that crazy stuff that the contraband drugs and stuff that people bring to the country. You know, so they're pretty smart. You know, and smarter than some human. I'm sorry. You know, I give enough credit to human, but the dog are pretty smart and have nothing but love for the dog and cats. Okay. So these are pretty good. See, they're not burned like the first one I had. I think I over. No, hold on. I kind of over bake this one, but it's still cushion. But I have to keep it in closure, otherwise it's gonna get hardened. But this one right here, when the sugar is cooling down, is start getting hardened. But this one right here, so you can tell that it's being untimely, uh, right timely. So it's more cushion. It smells so awesome. I wish I didn't have another bite. Okay, so this perfect. I'm gonna give the good one to my grandkids. You know, I love my grandkids. I want everything that's good and good and fine for my family. Usually when I do cooking, I make sure that the best piece, mm, the best piece, the most beautiful and best piece to serve. Okay, the one that's not so pretty, not so great, I eat it myself. Yeah, so another batch that I just fished out from the oven, and it's cooling down right now. Miss Cece, and it looked better. It looked a lot better. The texture is better. The color is better, and the sponginess is better. So now you know that. Okay, so I experiment um, cooking in a way that it will help improve mm, the next time when I making this. Okay, every time when I cook, sometimes I make a boo boo. Sometimes I because it's already soft. Sometimes it take me a couple of time to get it right. Especially when I'm creating my own recipe. Um, I have to experiment it first, make sure it works, make sure they turn out good and it's delicious, it's pretty, and all the whole 9 yard. Okay, so this right here. So I see that it worked better when I kind of I don't know um uh, it worked differently. I flattened it down a little bit. That worked a little bit better. So and keep it in room temperature for about 10 to 30 minutes. Also have a better it has a better texture, which is kind of nice to learn that, instead of baking it right after the fridge. Which some said that it worked better because it slowed down the process of the sugars and the butter to melt and allow the cookie to form, harden on the on the outside, and trap the moisture and the softness inside the cookie. So I'm not scientist, but that's why cooking experiment um, does prove certain points. Okay, so just like today. So well, my good followers, it's been it's been fun, right? I know that it's ridiculous to turn on the ovens and bake cookie in mid 120. Well, not yet, not 120 yet. It's been 109 just a couple of days, 112, 115, and I think today probably 1 or 2 degrees lesser, probably about 107 or 5. Okay, but still that's pretty hot. Triple digit plus is that's oh, it's hot. Anyway, so as you see that that whoops, let me look at this also. Okay. So this turned out really good. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. Okay, and see that it's really spongy. It's showing us that it's still cooking it. So we leave it in a hot pan for about 10-15 minutes before we move into something more with the lid. Okay, either cookie jar or container with the lid, especially the clay jar or clear jar. Make sure that it's cooling down. Otherwise, it's going to create humidity and can cause the cookie to get wet and will have the opposite textures. Okay. As you see here, it's cooling down and the cookie is still very soft with the feeling of touch here. So show me that it worked and the kids enjoyed it. And it's still daybreak. No, not daybreak and night break. I'm gonna deliver this. I'm gonna pick up my mom. I think the pharmacy already closed, but I got notice that the pharmacy that I have to pick up more prescription. The thing about the pharmacy is that they always like extended their refill in different days. I just pick it up 2 prescriptions a couple of days ago. Like continuously. They don't like refill all the prescription in one day. But no, they and try to be fancy about bringing you back so that you can shop. I don't really like that. But I'm gonna deliver this to my grandkid while it's still nice and warm. Okay, I need to see them. I'll give my mom hug also. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna close down today. Okay, I just want to say that hey, thank you for tuning in. You guys have been such a great instrumental to my channel. Your support and your help make a big difference and help my 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 channel grow and progress and soft and delicious. It is yummy. Yeah, like I said, I have half of it, so it's still soft. See the one that I pinch off. That just because the way we prepare the dough. It's a little bit different, a little bit time consuming than regular cookie, uh, chocolate cookie or cookie because the time that we incubate, the right temperature, it have to be cool, it have to be that little technique, almost like you're baking a pie or baking a cake or something, but the best result for this is that to let it cool in the chilling for 30 minutes didn't do too good. Okay, I think it's 2 hours up to 2 days will be a much better results. And thus far, I'm happy with it. I'm making observation as I go. The less time in the oven produce a better result and better texture, and and yeah. So like I said, the best advice for this is not to overbake, not to overstimulate with the dough. Don't do fine grinding. Don't do fine mixing. Make sure that it's not a fine dough. If it's a fine dough, then the texture won't be the same. And the amount of eggs, the amount of butter to help soften. And there's a few other things that you can help soften, moisture the cookie. Like you can add thing like cornstarch and stuff like that. And I'm allergic to corn and eggs and stuff like that, so I can't really enjoy any of these. And I didn't add the cornstarch and I see that it worked fine. You know, I mean, without a cornstarch, the result come out fine, fine, fine. So here go to my loving grandchildren, and I'm sure that I will share with my daughter and her sweetheart also, and see if they like that because they are no watchful diet, and I support them, you know, because I promote healthy diet. So I'm the one that messed up this routine, but this is the love that I have for my grandkids, not just because be sugary love, you know, because then you know they miss the time that we spend when I'm over there living with them. Um, we bake cookie all the times, and now it's summer and they haven't seen me doing any baking and baking. So they started asking me, Mom, oh, Grandma, when are you gonna make us some soft cookies, chocolate cookie, Grandma? Can you make some? And I was supposed to be at their house and baking it, so I thought that I used the facility here with this portable oven and it'll heat up the whole household. So yeah, because the AC is down, so I'm not trying to heat up the kitchen or the living quarter. So now I have this cookie and I have delivered to my grandkids and to receive love and to give love. Okay, so like I said, thank you. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, because the egg is working on my system. Thank you for tuning in, subscribing and like, and you know that finger up and the thumb up, and following me on my TikTok and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Share if you like, you know, and hit the bell so that way you get the notification from me when I'm on here. And also have another channel that I'm trying to establish, um, a more time in the community, bringing resource, bringing some updating information in the communities and at large, um, also local and globally. The little thing that I feel to share with with your folk, and that would be on banner in um, TV channel. Okay, so invite you there. Also, this is my regular cooking channel. I love cooking. If the day that I'm not cooking, I'll be uploading information and share some of the shorts and the recipe, just to keep the momentum going. You know, that's what I have been doing. It's been working great. But most of all, I appreciate your continued support. It does. It smells so good. It smells so good, Miss Sissy. You know, I mean, if you were here, it would be yours. Okay? Sorry. I know it looks so tempted. It looks so tempted for me also, not just um, because of food allergy, so I can't really enjoy much. But you know, I'll search for a recipe. There's no egg, nothing in it that I'll be able to enjoy. It will be a little bit different, but you know, we'll see what substitutions are. You know, maybe just add imitation egg or something like that. I'm not sure yet. I haven't tried one without any eggs yet. You know, so we'll have to do that another time. Well, my appreciation to all of you and heart um, thoughts and prayer out to Wi-Fi victim and spoken um, Oregon. And pray that um, the help will arrive and that you guys will have place to stay and emergency our agency will reach out and to give the support you need and yeah, pray for safety, pray for comfort. And I know it's hard to, it's easy to said than done, and I feel ya. So just know that we worried and concerned about safety and the conditions of the heat and the air quality and whether emergency shelter be taking place and so on and so forth. So pray for the best. Just know that we love and care for all of you. And for me, Chef Anayin, I appreciate all of you for tuning in as always. Cece, thank you, love. And I hope you had a great, um, you had great dinner. And it's so good to have you. And I'll leave you be until the next time I'm here with you. With love and respect. And good night to all of you. Oops, sorry. Thank you, Miss Sissy. Have a good evening, love.